G'day folks, I wanted to make a quick video about Moonstones just to share the way that I approach fighting, because I think it is a bit more difficult than people realize when they initially start out, and it took me a bit of trial and error to try and to lift my win rate up. Just keep in mind, I'm going to only talk about green fighting. There's red and there's green. I don't go reds. I don't have high tier players and equipment. So I am working on nothing above a rare or a talented. All right, so that's like the second level, and I have a pretty good success rate. Right, so I want to go through how I approach it, what I think about it. I picked up this little beauty. I'm showing this off here. This is my new Ranger, mint 13. Very nice. I'm sure I paid too much for it, but hey, it's cool. So just really quickly, we'll have a look at a couple of things on the secondary. So let's say we have a look at the generic characters, which is what I mostly fight with, and their rarity level of talented. On the market at the moment, they are at a pretty good rate, in my opinion. Okay, I don't forget about ordinary characters. You're going to get destroyed out there. You need at least these guys here, but at the moment the floor price on these characters is pretty low, right? So around 15 to 20 wax, and you can pick up really decent characters. There's a whole bunch of different characters. I'm going to talk about what I go for, but you can absolutely get those characters there between 15 and 20 wax. Where it is going to cost you a bit of money, and where I really had to invest extra wax, is in the equipment. Okay, the equipment, again, looking at rares, we really are starting to, wow, that's actually decent, right? So there's a bunch of stuff for 50 wax at the moment, so that's nice. I was paying somewhere around 50 to 100, somewhere in that region for most of this stuff. Crossbow 72 wax. I think that's fine, right? It's not as in what the market has been. Okay, so in terms of where you're going to spend your wax, these are the big items that are going to cost a little bit more, but they're going to really pay off. And finally, companions have also really come down, and they're quite competitive now. Again, rare companions on the market are pretty low, around 20. I was picking a few up for a little bit cheaper, between 15 and 20, and they're sitting just above 20 at the moment. So keep an eye on it. You might find they drop down. I wouldn't pay any more than 20, say 25 wax. Definitely, I wouldn't pay any more than that. But just keep in mind that these are going to be craftable, so somebody is going to come along and just wipe the floor when that happens. So if now's the time to pick up some of these companions. If you can see one get down below 20, even around 20, I think that's decent. I think that's a decent price. All right, so the secondary market is not bad. What that really means is you've got to choose your equipment wisely, because that's where the more expense is. You can get generics, you can get your companions, then you've got to choose your equipment wisely, and you're going to have to run some lower tier equipment, right? You're just not going to be able to buy all of that high level equipment, but some of the common stuff is going to be fine. Okay, if it's one or two pieces of common in your loadout, then that's going to be fine. So that's where you need to start strategizing around where you're going to invest in which gear. Okay, and some of those key pieces should be the ones that go with the characters that you have. So let's jump into that, and let's start having a look at my strategy and how I approach this. And we'll jump into Moonstones, and I'll show you my loadout, one of my loadouts that and the way I think about it when I approach the game. All right, so boot this up. Keep in mind, this is still RNG, right? There's never a guarantee way to hit. Your characters, their abilities and their stats may just not hit, right? That can happen. So there's a way to kind of increase your win ratio. And at the moment, like I said, I've increased mine. I was barely going 50-50. I'd lose 2-3 fights out of 4. or 3 or 4 a day, and now I'm hitting mostly, 90%, right? You get these odd random ones, but you're certainly hitting pretty high. Okay, so let's have a look at the way I build here. I'm just going to turn this music down on my headset a little bit because it's a bit loud. Okay. So the first thing I do is put up my generic characters. Okay, I'm using these talented. I have a few ordinary in here, but I don't tend to run those unless I'm running the team more stacked. I might try running some of those now that I've bought this yesterday, but I haven't been running this character at all before, so I'm going to ignore that today and pretend it's not there. I start off with my tankiest beast. Okay, I drop this guy in. This guy is here to party, right? Dunk. He's my big, strong, tanky guy. Look at his strengths; they're all pretty decent. Okay, not much in the way of mana, but that's okay. He's not about magic. He's about crushing heads. Okay, then I put in somebody with a bit of range. Okay, so somebody that's got some speed and has a ranged weapon, the crossbow. Then I have, and there's a couple of different ways that I do this. Sometimes I'll use somebody that's like an assassin that's fast, but I do like using my thief. I just like those additional gold tiers. But you could certainly swap out the thief with somebody that's fast. That's the key here. So we're going from tanky to range to fast, and then final piece is a healer. Alright, the healer is just going to give a buff to the overall team's HP. Okay, increase that HP, and you'll see it drop from, you'll see it increase from 20 to 25, right? So the whole team gets that buff. Now, we've balanced our characters: tank, range, speed, heals. What I'm now looking for is I'm looking at the companions and to see where their major deficiencies are. And I'm looking at things like resistance and strength and seeing where they're really going to be low. And that's where the first thing that I'm going to buff. So notice here the resistance on my thief is quite low. So I'm going to give him a boost on resistance. The resistance on my healer is low as well. The strength is quite low. So I've got an option there of how I balance that. But my healer's not really there to strike, to fight. So I'm less worried about strength and more worried about resistance. If my healer doesn't survive, then the team's cooked. So I'm probably going to go for strength here and make that decision, resistance here, and then go strength here. Okay, if I've got the option to boost this both, I will. But I'm making a judgment call here on where my priorities will lie on what I'm going to boost. Alright, so I'm going to go strength on this guy here to give him a harder hit, right? He's a thief, he's going in fast, but he needs to hit. And then I'm going to give resistance to my healer. Okay, let's have a look at my ranger. Again, pretty low on strength, so I could probably use strength. I might, consider switching this around, but I do have my gecko. My gecko is my all-rounder. It has strength, but it also has mana, so it's a decent piece. I might even consider swapping this around, increasing the mana here, and it's just a matter of sort of balancing these out, right? So let's drop this one in and give that strength boost there. No, I'm not happy with that. Definitely want that resistance. Okay, so resistance is key. Strength on this dude. Alright, this guy, this beast, his stats are already pretty good, so I would probably give him this this bulldog, but this pit bull, but it is not refreshed, so I'm going to go with the gecko. That's fine. Happy with the gecko. But this is ideal for that character. Okay, so let's just review those stats. We've got a bit of a buff here, across the board. Had low mana, so that's decent to increase that. Picked up strength, big time for my ranger. Right, so now we're looking a little more balanced. Here, strength here, resistance is quite low, so that's a concern, but I'll come back to that. And here, resistance is looking good. Again, strength is a little bit low, but healer, not too worried about the healer. Okay, now we can add some equipment. And this is where, as I said, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but with key pieces, you'll see the payoff, okay? This axe is this character's special weapon, right? So it's a big buff for this character. We can see 34, 25, 20, 46, 27, right? A little less of speed, but who cares? That's massive. That's massive strength. Okay, my ranger has a crossbow. That's its main weapon. So we're going from 24, 23. Now see the speed increase as well, and the strength increase. So now this character is looking very nice as well. This guy, now like I said, I was a little worried about that resistance. So I'm going to, before I do anything else, I'm going to add a decent amount of armor just to see if I can pick that up. Okay, I'm at 27. So now I'm looking good, right? Now I really want to focus on just making sure this one has speed. Okay, so I can add some daggers, which is going to increase that speed. Keep that up, and I can also add something else defensive as well, because the daggers are just the one piece, and now I'm looking really nice and balanced. Okay, so I've increased that resistance because this person's going in quick, they're going to fight. I've now bumped up that strength. It was at 15 before, that's huge, and maintained the speed, picked up that speed. My healer gets the healing spell, of course. Lots of mana there, lots of resistance, and here's I'm going to chuck in just a basic. No, actually, I'm going to go ham on this and give this random weapon here. Let's see what are we lifting up here with that. Okay, so strength, yeah, just gives a bit of overall strength boost. Who knows? It might end up being my biggest hitter because of the RNG. I've got to also add this helmet for this guy. This helmet is a big boost for my dunk. Okay, that's got a hidden talent as well. And I'll just give my ranger a light armor because I don't want to lose too much in the way of speed. So just that additional resistance there. Okay, so now I'm looking pretty good. I've got one last piece for a bit of armor over here. I don't have any other rares, so I'm just going to chuck in this here, just a light piece. Just doesn't really do a lot, but it's that 10% resistance that they will need. Okay, so that's the logic. Slowly build up those stats, make sure you're keeping them even. You'll notice every character has resistance above 25, you know, getting closer to 30 for most, and then a little bit more for my main attackers that are going to be in the battle. My big hitter has a lot of strength. My ranged character has good speed, so we should see that attack work. Nice average for my thief, and my healer has a lot of resistance but also very high mana. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Let's go hit it. Okay, we got a pretty... This is an interesting team. Okay, that's... You could be a little nervous about this, right? Look at these red, whenever you see this glowing red, okay, they're a little bit stronger. So we've got the Maleficent Witches, but then these guys, I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's do it. Well, this is no slouch. This is not an easy team, right? This is green, but there's no way this is an easy team. If you go in here with lower level characters, you are going to get minced, and I might too. Let's see. Boom. Okay. That'll be hit. Smashed it, right? So I'm getting 41.6 gold teal on this, so that's the extra 1.6 for my thief, but I'm getting 40 off this team because they are a higher level easy team, right? You could end up, sometimes you get 30 gold teals on these fights, but 40 is decent, and we've smashed them. Okay, so they actually came back pretty hard. They've done a serious amount of damage against my measly, 95 HP. But that's where the additional HP of the healer was critical. Okay, it would have been pretty sketchy if I didn't have the healer, but also I've had a big hit from my beast, right? So this guy here, remember this guy costs, what did we see before earlier, like 15 wax or something, but this guy is doing significant amount of damage. So investing in that axe, that rare axe, and this character has given me that big hit, and so I think that's decent. We can run it. I think we can run another one. Let me see if I've got enough action points left. We can run another one. We see how my. If not, I'll refresh, but I won't. Okay, so that fights have left that area. I'm not going to change my loadout because I kind of want to see the odds, but I think I may need to refresh. So I'll just refresh this gear, just so that I can. He's off, man. He's got his own little wandering way about him. Just a little hippie. But yeah, I don't want to change. I'm not going to change the loadout, just so we can see the odds of how this actually plays out. So I'll refresh if I can. I think there might have been one piece there that might have been exhausted, but we'll see. We'll see. And hopefully this has been running okay. It had, yeah, okay, the crossbow, good. It had been okay, a lot of these are going to need to be restored. I'm just going to do the 0 first. You know, when it comes down to it, it's tempting when you see that 1 of 4 and you want to hit that hey man, that could be another 16, it could be 20, could be 25 gold teals just on that one restore. So you don't want to do it. You got to burn them down. You got to wander around and save every gold teal, especially in fighting. Gold teals are hard to earn. And yeah, we're having a big party at the moment with tools for sure, but when it comes down to the everyday grind, you want to get that win ratio up on fights, and there's no reason you can't be earning a positive gold teal on fights, that's for sure. Alright, so my little dude is off again. Let's go up here and we'll use this. Hopefully we've got the same loadout saved, and we'll run it back. Okay, let's see if we've managed to keep the same loadout. It can change depending on. Yeah, that looks like that's a great, perfect. We're going to go straight into this next fight. Nothing's changed. Let's hit it again. Okay, again, we've got some big boys here. We've got some trolls. We've got the bogey, glowing red, and the maleficent witch. I'm 50-50 on this one. There's some big hitters there. If I get poor RNG, I could lose this. Nah, look at this. Solid, right? Solid team. Not quite as much gold teal, so that obviously they probably had a lower. No, see, they still had a 120 HP team, so there's no messing around. Dunk has again smashed. Rangers died early. Enemies did 47, so that was my ranger. Oh yeah, the witch got in there. These red witches are no joke, man. Alright, but again, winning, right? Winning. Complex team, but that is working. Okay, the theory is working. The balanced team, even though I lost my range then, I had good resistance and a heavy hitter to knock out a 120 HP team. Okay, now I need to restore a bunch of this stuff. Okie dokie, let's go do that. We'll take a little wander back. And I'm not going to edit this video, so if you're hoping for a little quick skip, you can do it yourself. You can scrub that YouTube video yourself. All right, I'm not going to spend time on that. Let's just enjoy the wandering around the map, the restoring equipment. This is quality content. Okay, I better do my tools while I'm here. Okie dokie, restore all that. Go back to town, and we are away. Check if any of my little beasts need restoring as well, my companions. I think, oh yeah, a couple there as well. I'm all over the place when it comes to restoring stuff. It's yeah, I just do not have a system whereby I can limit the amount of restores I do each day. I mess around a lot with my I had been messing around quite a lot with my teams. I'm gonna go far this time. We'll go pick another area. I was playing around with a few different things, including the 1 of 1 and trying some different combinations. And so yeah, my stuff is, the restore on my gear is all over the place. But for this video I just want to run 3 fights with this loadout just to show what a balanced loadout looks like and how effective it is up against these particular enemies. Okay, same loadout, here we go. My characters get 3 fights before they're exhausted at this level. Again, we've got some big fighting here. Some tanky players. So, you know, without that resistance, we'd be in trouble. And I'm never confident. I'm never confident on this. This could go either way. But it's gone my way, which is nice. Which is very nice. 36 teals again, 120 HP. Ranger has smashed it, right, from damage. They got 12 HP against us, right, because of our Ranger. So they didn't even get to smash us. Right, the Ranger's just wrecking. So we've seen fights whereby our tank, our dunk has gone in and hit hard and wiped first. We've seen a fight where our Ranger has done damage before they even got to us. But most importantly, we've seen that resistance keeping us alive. Okay, and these guys are hit hard. We've had Maleficent Witches as well. They hit hard, but that resistance, that balance, going through the balance by starting with your characters, then adding your companions to them, and then balancing out your equipment to give you the best overall team composition, is working 100% right now. So, you know, give it a try. Have a look on the market. Certainly try and trade in the 99 guild as well. If there's some way that we can help you out, I'm sure we will do that. But hopefully you'll enjoy, and hopefully you'll have a better win ratio. All right, peace.